Welcome to the week. Okay, now, in the ideal world, he will have cut there so that he won't see us talking, but I have a feeling this will be in there.
Because that stuff's funny.
Okay.
I
He
told
likes
you
that
already.
that-
I kind of think it's funny when we banter.
It's funny, we do. It is funny.
What are you wearing?
Look at you all dressed up in your...
I'm wearing my uniform.
I'm wearing my uniform.
This is what I call my working robe.
This is what I call my work clothes.
People go, oh, you're getting dirty. I go, it's a working robe. Because I get makeup here from women who hold...
I actually wear work boots.
Yeah.
With my work clothes.
You see my makeup on my shoulder?
Oh, where do you...
From hugging.
Oh, from hugging.
And then I have slobber down here and stuff from kids. And
yeah.
So it's a working robe.
Excellent.
Why are we wearing our working robe?
Well,
we're working garb.
Because we're working.
We're working.
Yeah. I have a funeral today.
Oh, I'm just coming from one. Really didn't do a funeral. We did a graveside ceremony. So we didn't do the whole funeral thing. It was
This is in a funeral parlor, not in a church.
Parlor.
Parlor. What do you call them? A parlor. I don't think they call them that anymore here. Actually, what's it called here?
Home.
Funeral home. Yeah, I grew up calling it a funeral parlor.
I went out to the...
What do they call it in Texas?
Funeral home, funeral parlor.
Parlor.
Yeah.
I like the parlor.
It works. It works. Parlor's a good old word.
Come and have a seat in the parlor.
But I was out at the military cemetery.
Oh yeah, I was there last week.
Yeah, it was a beautiful, beautiful day. And I remembered part of what I told the family was, I remember my daughter, we were driving by a cemetery, and we really didn't talk about cemeteries, but I guess she knew enough
People
about
don't
it.
like talking about death.
Yeah, but she knew what her mom and I did. Her mother's a minister too. And she goes, one day we were driving by, look, it's a grave garden. And we love that term, grave garden. Because it's
You're getting planted.
Well, that, the very beginning of our story starts in a garden.
Yeah.
And kind of the ending kind of ends in a garden.
Yeah.
It's dusty and kind of our very first episode had dust in it.
Yes, it did have dust in it.
And you said
and
something.
that room still has dust in it.
You said this word, though, when we were talking.
Dirtlings.
Dirtlings.
Well, that's what Adam is. Adamah is Hebrew for dirt.
Yeah.
Soil. And
made of dirt.
Adam.
Made of the earth.
Dirtling. So
we are made of the earth.
We are dirtlings, and we return to that. And that's just what we are. All creation is made of the same kind of stuff, just in a different kind of recipe.
My family that I was with at the cemetery, they had such a wonderful story about their dad.
Oh.
He loved to restore cars. And he had a Model T.
Oh, wow.
And then his sons have done remodeling, and they have this fantastic 60s Mustang, which I want.
Covet.
I do. I'm a sinner because I covet that car. But they did the coolest thing. He was cremated, and so the ashes went into an axle. They had this black axle of a car.
Wow.
And they put the axle in the rumble seat of the Model T, and they drove Dad around to these places.
That's awesome.
And they had just such a great way of telling the story.
That's super cool.
And it wasn't that he had a perfect life and that he wasn't a perfect human being, but they were really good about finishing up this story in a respectful, loving, interesting
joyful
way. It was a joyful way.
Celebration.
The Model T came to the cemetery, and and the axle is in the back of the rumble seat. That is the coolest thing. And we sang, and we just stood around. And
so now did the axle get interred, or did the axle got interred?
Yes,
I thought the axle was going to stay in the car.
No, his ashes were put in there, and each of them came up, and they tightened a bolt.
Oh, wow.
And then they lowered it into the ground, and we buried it. And we talked about that axle being a symbol of a journey.
Wow, yeah.
And that it was not only his journey, but our journey was all together.
Oh, that's really
and really, it's really about celebration and about life. Mm-hmm. And I think the words that I've started to say at each funeral is, God's grace always gets the last word.
Oh,
that's the death doesn't get the last word.
No.
God's grace gets the last word. And it's a celebration.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was cool. I really enjoyed that moment.
That's super cool. I got this is interesting just because I got it recently, and it has to do in a way.
Wow.
Yeah, it's a bracelet. But a lot of people really do get comfort from the 23rd Psalm.
Yeah, we read it a lot.
We read it a lot of funerals, but people like it other than that time too, because it's this idea of God leading us in a really gentle way. And each bead represents a different part of it.
Oh, cool.
So the Lord is my shepherd. It looks kind of woolly on the inside. It's white. And sort
of
a
white bead.
Leads me beside the
green pastures.
Green pastures, so it's a green one. Restores my soul. It's like a
cross.
Leads me beside still waters. It's a crystal.
Yeah.
The shadow of the valley of the shadow. Shadow of the valley of death.
Yeah. So it's a dark bead.
Dark bead. Rod and staff. It's like a wooden bead.
Oh, well, cool.
Prepares a table before me. My cup overflows. It's like a kind of shiny, candlelighty looking, maybe wine goblet-y looking. And then anoints my head with oil. It's a purple sort of royalty color.
Yeah.
And live in the house of the Lord forever. It's just this sort of wild, silvery, pretty.
That is
bead.
very cool.
And it's really neat. And this was given to me by the Sunday school kids at a place I used to work at. And that is just so lovely. And I wear it now when I do funerals. And I show it to people. Hey, maybe we should make them during the show sometime. I would actually like to have a bunch of them made so that I could give them to folk.
You know who you're like?
Who am I like? Oh, don't tell me. Do you know the last time someone said that to me, you know who it was? Carla on Cheers.
Well, I mean, you know, the curly hair are not the personality.
Oh, and the other one...
It's not the personality.
The other one I used to get a lot is the second daughter on the Roseanne Barr show. Remember the second daughter?
Yeah.
Okay, who am I like? Tell me who am I like.
Well, because Lucille Ball.
Because
you always said... No, because you always said, I have an idea. I know what we should do. That's what she always says. So I mean, if we made all the things...
Let's stomp grapes.
I love stomp.
Let's go stomping.
We can.
Yes.
Because we live by a lot of different wineries, vineyards.
Let's do that. Stomp some grapes. One of our Friday field trips.
All right.
Anyway, and I'm happy to say our friend Flip Flop is back.
Oh, good.
So Flip Flop's going to be going on some field trips soon.
Good deal.
Yes. Anyway, so death. Doesn't have the last word.
There's a segue. Death.
Doesn't have the last word. To death.
Death doesn't have the last word.
To death.
And that's why I will be dancing at my grave. Well, I want people to.
I want a fun fair.
A fun fair.
Bounce castle.
Exactly.
Ponies. Barbershop quartet.
Exactly. We'll
John
do
Bon
that
Jovi.
for you.
Thank you.
Anyway.
Have a great day.
Hey, Dirtlings, have a wonderful... We're all Dirtlings.
My starling Dirtlings.
Starling Dirtlings.
Have
a wonderful,
Have a fabby dabby day. Like us on all those things you need to like. And you know what? We want to hear from you. It's all about conversation.
It is, and we got a lot for you tomorrow. We're gonna share.
It's to use
we
day,
got it.
So
we got it.
Yeah.
Happy Monday. Love you.
Bye. Love you.
Take care.